Several years ago, I taught this as a painting class, an acrylic painting class. And I thought I was so inspired. Right now, the magnolias are blooming. So I thought I would go ahead and recreate it for a journal cover. It's not going to be exact. It's just going to have the same kind of flavor. So I thought I'd bring you along while I did a quick painting. I'm going to use white, light blue, and electric blue. I guess that says summer sky. And I'm just going to do some cross hatching. I have prepared some watercolor paper with 4 coats of gesso already and dried that. So I'm just going to double load my brush with some darker blue and a medium blue, and I'm just going to make some crosses. I'm going to have a darker at the top, medium, and then lighter at the bottom. So I just go back and forth like that, just to make a little bit of texture. In the background. And it's not blended. It's just a lot of variation in color, which I think it makes the painting just a little bit more interesting. And I will dry this, and then we'll go on to the next step. I don't know if you can see it, but what the next step that I did was I took just regular chalkboard chalk, and what I did was I'm sketching out what I want to do with the branch, the leaves, and the flower petals. So that way I've kind of got a roadmap of what I want to do next. So the colors I'm going to use are going to be this Rich Art Red and this Deco Art Snow Titanium White. And what I'm going to do is start with the white and just do the outline of the petals. I get my brush wet. I always start with a damp paintbrush, not a soaking wet one, but a damp one. And I'm just going to start with my white paint and just start outlining the petals, just to give myself, it's kind of like, I guess, like making an outline for coloring in a coloring book. All right, so that's the outline that I've got of my flower, and I'm going to start working on it first. So I'm just going to start making long strokes that follow the direction of the petal. And then I'm going to add just the littlest bit of red on the outside. And then I'm going to blend it in with the white and doing nice long strokes. So since I'm working wet into wet, it gives me a chance to blend it a little bit more. And let me go ahead and rinse that, and then I'm going to start on the next petal that I want to work on. I'm just going to do the same thing. Just doing some nice long strokes that follow the direction of the petal. I'll get just a little bit of red. I'm going to go bold down the back vein of this petal. And then I also want it to be darker at the base. So now I'm just going to do light strokes that lift up. And when you lift up on those strokes, they make them wispy. Get a little bit more white. And I'm going to pull white down into those wisps. So since again I'm working wet on wet, the red and white are turning into pink, which is what I want to show here. Let's see, let's do a little bit more red right along the base here, because that's an inside petal and I want it to be darker. So we're going to pull that up. Okay, and again, I'm going to load up on some white and then go down into those wisps. Okay. And then I can go back and do a second coat too. All right, so now this petal here is the furthest back one. So I am going to really make this section dark. And then again along the base. And then we're going to do a little vein up little curve. And then we'll start following the direction of the petal again. I think I'll make this my darkest petal back here. Yesterday when we were driving 45 minutes to, my husband wanted to look at a boat, a fishing boat. It's just a V-bottom boat. It's just a little boat, nothing special. It's a 1964 boat. But yesterday the daffodils were blooming. The forsythia were blooming, the magnolia are blooming. So I'm like, oh, I've got to do this painting. It's just too pretty. So inspirational. Okay, now I'm going to add more white onto that back petal. Boy, that canvas, well, it's not really a canvas. It's watercolor paper that I gessoed. But I guess because it's paper, oh, it's thirsty. You know, it dries the brush out really quick, faster than if I were to be painting on a canvas. And what I'm going to do is let that dry, and then I'm going to go back and do a darker coat there. All right, so then this is a foreground petal, so I'm going to make it pretty light. So let's follow the shape around. Just do a lot of following the shape of the petal around again, making it curved. Now I'm going to put some red into that. I made that real red, so I'm going to lighten that up some more. think we need to make this vein a little bit darker. And let me see, I think I will highlight this leaf a little bit more on the edge so that there's more of a contrast. I think I need a little more white on here. Okay, and now I'm going to go the other direction. Go up. The red up, and we'll pull the white down. Okay, and we'll pull the red up. Alrighty, I think I'm done playing with that part of it. Now I'm going to work on the tree branch. Let me dry this first. I turn the painting upside down so I can work on the tree trunk. And I'm going to use a darker brown, a medium brown, and a light brown. And I'm using Rich Art Acrylic Deep Brown. And then I'm adding a soft yellow, which is a pale daffodil. And then I'm also adding white to the medium mixture to make it a lighter. So I'm going to start with the dark on the outside. And I'm not too worried about making this really neat. I am purposely making this jittery, because trees are pretty textured. So this, I'm going to say, I'm like tickling. This stroke here is like tickling, where I'm like just doing dash, 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 instead of fluid long strokes. And it kind of gives the impression that it's a little barkish. And now I'm going to take the medium and then now I'm going to go for the lightest color. Alrighty, so that's for that one. And then let's see, I think I will make a lighter branch in the background here, kind of just veering off from behind. And I'm going to do the branch that's coming out to the flower. So I'm going to start, where's my chalk line? Let's see, I'm going to start here and have darker on the bottom. And then I'm going to do the middle color. The lighter color. And then I'm going to make a little calyx. I'm going to make it a darker calyx, kind of like, there we go. I'm going to dry that, and then I'll do the green for the leaves. I'm going to start on this upper leaf first, and turn it so I can work it on a little bit better. And then I'll do just a little bit of a stem. Okay. Now I'm going to work on leaf down here. And I don't know that I even drew it. So let's and then give a little bit of a stem here as well. And I think I will put a little bit of green on this calyx as well. Go, like that big blob there. And a little brown in with that. There we go. I'll give it a dry and then I'll show you what it looks like once it's dry. And there it is, all dry. I've yet to make the cover for it, but I was just too inspired by seeing blooming magnolias that I just had to do a painting for a cover for a journal in the future.